Welcome to the B-Sides and Beers podcast.
Welcome to B-Sides and Beers, episode 36. Tonight we're digging into Led Zeppelin's 1976 live album Song Remains the Same. What's going on?
Not much, man.
Not much.
How's it going with you?
Just fucking rocking out some beers, got the kids to bed, and yeah. It's time to chill.
Down in the bomb shelter.
Time to laugh, time to have some fun and some giggles, and
What do you have a name for the bomb shelter? Is it like the lab?
it's
or like
it doesn't have a label yet, but there will be.
Yeah.
There's some contenders.
Well, initially, previous plans before I moved here, I've always wanted like a shred shed, but this is more of a bunker, so that doesn't really work so well. But
Right.
yeah, I'll figure something out. I always go back to Black Label Society with Zach Wilde and his the Black Catacombs or the Black Vatican or
Oh yeah, man.
That's awesome.
yep.
I like that.
And you need a badass
yeah.
sign on the front of that
Yep.
before you walk in there. Yeah. I like that. Is there an estimated time of or date or of arrival as far as the bunker shredded?
No.
goes?
Initially, my plan
Bunker
was
shred.
to have it done by the end of September, but stepping up with different homeowner issues, and now we got to get some new windows, and everything kind of piles up. So that money sort of shifts over to other things. So I'm hoping and praying it's going to be like January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
God darn it, man. We're doing new windows in September.
It's expensive, man.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah, it's
Holy
bonkers because our last
guacamole.
house a couple years
Yeah.
back, we went through, I think it was we went through Home Depot and we got some sort of a deal, and even with that deal, it was like $12,000 to do all our windows. Now it's costing me $2,300 each window, and that's not even the big windows.
Dude, you got to
Right.
tell the story about the guy with the window on your front street.
Yeah,
You got to tell that story.
Sounds like an awesome story. Let me
Yeah.
crack a beer for
Yeah,
this.
you got to tell him that story. And everybody else.
Yeah, so we the last house probably 4 years ago, we decided to get some new windows because we had been doing a bunch of upgrading in the house anyway, and they were drafty as hell and just not working for us. So we do a little bit of searching around and we find some deals through Home Depot. And with Home Depot, initially, I think these things have changed now, but previously they would subcontract to their installers, like individual tradesmen. So we had these guys come out and they did some measurements, and then we ordered all the windows. Probably 3 or 4 months later, they come back and they're starting to install windows, and some of them are mismeasured. Two of them got fell out and smashed on the ground outside, and these are all custom windows. So
Like this is after they've all left.
no,
and you
this
just,
is
like,
during
lean up
install.
against the fucking,
This is during install.
my
So they get a couple windows in, and then they get to the bedroom, the master bedroom window, and out of nowhere I hear a OF and smash out on the front driveway, and it's just shattered glass everywhere. So yeah, we had to deal with that for quite some time. Cleaned up all the mess. Had to reorder some other windows. Had to have them reinstalled. Wait, the master bedroom one. We started off everything in beginning of summer. The whole process of ordering, and then they started putting it in September, and it wasn't till probably December till they were done with our
fuck.
bedroom window. So, we've got everything plastic and blocked off, and it's cold and it's loud and it's
It's crack house.
yeah.
Like
So
crack house.
yeah. So never again. And F Home Depot. So
It's funny because there's a Home Depot box right behind you, right by your head. So I was
I
like,
know.
man, Google knows, man. Google placed it
knows.
there.
It knows. There is no box behind me.
There.
It just got CG added in the background.
Yeah, maybe only
Holy
I can
shit,
see
yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Well, like what you just described is exactly what we've gone through, minus the dudes putting in the wrong windows.
Right.
But like we started in I want to say May.
Wow.
And it was like the guy came in and measured them up, and then like I was like, "Can we get this done like third week of August?" Yeah, no problem. And then they come to do the second measure or whatever, and then the story changes, and then so we'll see.
Too much
Yeah.
fun.
I have yet to hear a good window installer story. It was great. It was awesome.
They don't exist.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to like having like not a cold breeze blow at me when I walk past the window.
It's so bad, dude. I hated that. Every damn window was drafty.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I won't be dealing with that again, and I'm going with, hopefully, a better company, so we'll see.
Right
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
What are we drinking?
Who wants to start?
Yeah.
I'll jump in there since I segued it. I'm all over the Whistler Brewing Company today, folks. I'm drinking the Mountaineer Pilsner, right there,
Nice.
which is a 5%,
Right on.
and pretty basic but tasty. And the other one I got is a Whistler Brewing Company Trail Forks Hazy Trail Pale Ale. Yeah, that's what I got.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, and that is a 5% as well. So, but I got a pack. Like, there's something else. There was a grapefruit one in that pack.
It's just like a tester pack kind of a thing.
Yeah. And there was one more. I can't remember what else was in there, but no, it's good. So the Mountaineer Pilsner is really good though. So, Mountain Whistler. There you
Cool.
go.
Cool.
Sweet, man. I'll go. I'm working on Raised by Wolves IPA by Driftwood. I'm starting to get into IPAs again. I don't know what's going on, but and then 3 caught my eye today. I went in with like Otto in my arm, and I'm just like buying beer like the biggest piece of white trash. I don't care.
Here, son, hold this.
No,
I
man,
went
at least
last-
you brought him in. You didn't leave him in the car.
Oh yeah, well fuck never, but like pretty near, pretty close. Like last week, I get to like the shopping whatever center, and like I pull him out of the car seat, and he doesn't have any fucking pants on. I forgot to put pants on. So it's just like his little top and like diaper, no pants, no shoes, nothing. And I just walk into the liquor store. Yep.
What time was it?
I was like 10:30 in the morning.
Sounds about right.
It was like a Saturday. I don't know, probably 3 or 4.
That's all right then.
Okay, so I got a Overcast Hazy IPA from Ace Brewing. I think this is a new one, but never seen it before, so I picked it up. And then a Tropique.
Tropique.
You guys see
Yeah.
that? Tropique IPA from Four Winds. Four Winds is usually pretty good. They're out of Delta, BC. Yeah. I'm assuming this is going to be like a pineapple-y kind of tasting IPA. I'm not sure.
Nice.
And then I've been also like on the cream ales lately. Been really digging cream ales, and I found Brickyard Beach. It's a red cream ale. It actually says a red cream ale in small font on the
And where's that out of?
middle there. These guys are out of, I'm going to say Vancouver, just because the very minimalistic looking label. Oh, what? Oh, Comox Road, Nanaimo.
Oh, okay.
So they're out of Nanaimo.
There you go.
Right on. Yeah, sorry. White Sails Brewing Limited.
Yeah, it's weird with those cream ales. There's not a lot of choices for it. You know, you've
No.
got your your main like 2 or 3 brands that do it, or breweries that do it, but you don't see a lot of craft companies or craft beer breweries doing it.
Not really. And you know what? I find cream ales to be really light, really tasty, and super refreshing. And I think when everyone thinks of a cream ale, they think of like Kilkenny and like frothy, creamy, whatever, Irish type.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a couple breweries around that are doing some really nice, super light cream ales, which are really, really tasty.
Very cool.
The Sleeman one is good. Like, I've always liked the Sleeman cream ale. Like, that one's been pretty solid for like a big box beer company. They're they're good.
I forgot about that.
Mike, what you got?
Well, I am trying my very first offering from Russell Brewing Co.
Yes.
They are out of Surrey, BC. This is sort of on my path of I've tried almost everything that I can find in town, and now I'm just going through the crazy, weird stuff I've never heard of, never seen before. It's almost like an eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Close your eyes and just grab something, right?
That's fun.
Yeah. So this one, so Russell Brewing Co., it is a lemon raspberry rattler, and I've never really been a huge fan of rattlers, but I'm trying this one. It's a light. It's a 3.5. It's very light. It's actually good. It's super raspberry-y, I guess, if you're into that. The other one I've got, I'm going back with Parallel 49 tonight with the Filthy Dirty IPA. It's a 7.2%. And also, about a week ago, I had mentioned to you guys that I had found one of my first negative review on any sort of beer offering. And I wasn't sure if I should bring it up on the show, but I thought, what the fuck? So,
you bought another one just to give a negative review?
No, dude. No.
I was like, you're a fucking badass.
Register my disgust throughout the world.
I've already I bought 2 cans of it at the time, and they're the tall boys. And I popped into the first one, and the first 2 swigs were god awful, and I don't know what was going on. I thought maybe it was an issue with the one can. The second can I opened up, it was the same thing. Now, this goes back to sours and how I've always had issues getting into sours and trying those out. And I found a few that have been amazing in this past year. And for the longest time, I've been, blowing the what's the toe in the flag or whatever for Parallel 49. And everything they've put out, I've enjoyed, and everything's been great. So recently they've put out this. It's a watermelon sour, and I don't get it. Like it smelt and tastes like hints of vomit, and I couldn't explain it.
I can. It's watermelon is. When do you ever get a sour watermelon?
I don't know. I'm new to this, and every other sour that I've had, previous to the start of this podcast, I haven't been able to finish. I haven't enjoyed. It's just been, I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. And then recently, I found a few that were kick ass, and then I jump aboard on this, and I don't know. I can't do it. So,
do you still have the can for that Steve Kitchen art, or is the can gone?
The can's gone, but it's got like a Roman warrior kind of a deal.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
Great picture. Love the art on it. And that was the first thing that always catches my eye with anything new from Parallel 49. It's Steve's art is always unreal, and it sells the product, but he did his part, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my taste buds.
Watermelon Warrior.
Yeah.
Great can.
Yeah. So
you can't like them all, right? I mean,
there's a fine line though, because most of the time it's been a long time since I've had something that I completely disliked.
But did you finish it?
I finished both cans. I thought maybe it'll get better. Maybe it'll get better, and then it just never got better. So
Well, there you go.
Wash
You
it
gave
down
it
with
gave it a good try.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to
Yeah,
want to shit
yeah.
talk on it, but it did nothing for me, and it had back hints of vomit and front hints of vomit, and yeah, it was yeah, I don't know. So
Fair enough.
Constructive criticism.
yeah,
man.
yeah. So
And Peach Bod Parallel 49 was one of like the best ones of the summer.
So
for
good.
me. I loved it. Like it's
So
So
good.
kind of both sides of the spectrum there, but yeah.
well, everything else. I mean, I always, twice a month I'll buy one of their mixed 8-packs, and everything's great, and I always enjoy it. And then you go with these limited runs, and some of them are great. Well, all of them that I've tried so far have been great, except for this one. So
I got a question
Yeah.
for you. How long after your second shot did you try this beer?
it had nothing to do with that because
Okay.
I didn't have any issues with taste buds or smell or
didn't?
anything weird. Yeah, that was nothing. So
Okay. I don't know what it was, but my taste buds were messed up. Like it was only about a day after, but my taste buds were messed up.
wow.
Who knows? Maybe it was like something else. But
Well, it's kind of part of it. From stories that I've heard, it's with the loss of smell or the weird smell and the weird taste buds or loss of taste, and the whole COVID thing kind of messes with that. So maybe there's something to do with the vax, but it's good. It was just a short term thing. So
there you go. Yeah.
I'm buying it when I see it. I want to try it.
give it a
And
go.
I'll get-
Only get the
I'll
one
give
though,
you-
and I want your report.
Yeah, I'll give you my honest opinion on it. I won't, I won't
Call
be
me
a
up and
jerk
tell me
say
I'm
it was the
tell me I'm
greatest thing
fucking
I've ever
crazy.
Yeah, I won't tell you that, but I'll give you my honest go on it for sure. I probably won't drink 2 cans, but I'll buy one.
Okay, you'll do one.
Yeah. I do one. I
I'll
do
do
one.
one.
The song remains the same. I'll tell you what, boys.
Tell you what.
This,
Well,
I'll tell you
what.
something. It was meant to be because when I went to the liquor store, no word of a lie, the guy who was taking my money was wearing a Led Zeppelin "Song Remains the Same" T-shirt.
Oh fuck! Signs from above.
Yeah,
Signs from
and I was going to
above.
tell him that I was going to be doing that on a podcast tonight, and then I'm like, no, I don't think I'm going to tell him that. I'm just going to walk out of here with my beer. So I didn't, but I think it's it's signs. It's signs. It's the right one to do. So Mike, this was your choice. So why don't you lead into it and
Okay.
kick it
Well,
off?
this was my choice due to the fact that it is probably the earliest memory of any sort of rock god image in my life and musical path, and I think it's because of this album that I picked up a guitar and wanted to play Jimmy Page.
Wow.
And just the performance from that is probably the main launching point to my playing and being obsessed with the road of guitar. So
And you're talking both like recording and movie.
correct. So some of my earliest memories were of the movie, and because my pops had it on beta and used to watch it when I was a kid, and just snippets. I mean, I didn't remember the whole thing, but you remember a lot of the on-stage parts, and then all bits and pieces of all the fucking crazy movie side that had nothing to do with anything, but were mind-blowing and bizarre, and you couldn't not watch it even if you had no idea what was going on. And
Yeah, it was just odd overall. It was a odd mishmash of different things and like dream sequences and
yeah,
Except for John Bonham's part.
that was plain
He's
and
like,
simple.
look, guys, I just want to race around in my fucking hot rod and work in my
Yeah,
shit.
hang out on the
Pretty
farm.
much.
You can film me doing that if you
Yeah,
want.
hang out in my farm.
yeah, just driving the tractor around like with Jason, right? Like it's just, I don't know. It's a very odd movie, but yeah, the on-stage parts are captivating.
And the psychedelic type stuff in the background where you've got like Jimmy Page when he's climbing up the mountain in his little scene, climbing up this mountain and cliff, and he gets to the top and he sees a wizard, and then the wizard pulls out this sword, and there's like he waves the sword around, and it's like all this rainbow colors, and like it's straight up 1976.
Yeah.
Hold up. Does that sounded a little bit familiar? Well, it looked a little familiar to me. When was Paranoid released?
Pretty close to the same time.
Yeah.
No,
So do you remember
it
the
would
front-
it would have been earlier.
Right.
Pretty sure. Well, this album was recorded. The live album part of it was recorded in 73, but it wasn't released, and the movie wasn't released till 76. So
Okay.
And this goes
because
back
the
to
front
that-
cover of Paranoid.
Sorry, go ahead, Dane.
Oh, I'm just like whatever. But the front cover of, sorry, what's the name of that Black Sabbath album that Paranoid is on? Anyway, there's a Black Sabbath album that was like exactly.
I know
like
exactly
that,
what you're talking about.
right? Anyway, I just saw some like similarities there.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say who ripped off who. That's the question. Who came first with that? But yeah, and you know what? This goes back to that. We talked about this in another episode about Robert Plant getting in that car accident in Greece. I think it was Greece. So, and then having to sing from the wheelchair and stuff like that during presence. So, like, you know, for this to come out during that time too, right? Like it was kind of odd, right? Like a concert that you performed 3 years prior is now coming out on, you know what I mean? Like it feels like a band and 3 years later into their career could be a completely different band, right? You know, like if you have like the Beatles releasing their stuff from like when they were doing I Want to Hold Your Hand into their like drug stuff, and you're like, who is this band? Like I want to see the new Beatles, right? Like show me the new Beatles. But it was interesting to go back on it.
Well, and things did change a lot too, because you look when Song Remains the Same was recorded, that was when they released Houses of the Holy. And then by the time the movie comes out, Presence is out.
Yeah, so you're at your peak compared to like on your down slope, right?
Exactly.
Like Presence is the slow decline, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just the timing of it, it's different. It's weird. It's not like other bands, I guess.
But then you look how long would it have taken to make the movie, to shoot those scenes, and you know that was probably the bulk of the time,
Reshoot
right?
the stuff.
So
Reshoot the stuff that they didn't like in a soundstage or whatever.
and a lot of the back footage was from other concerts, the behind the scenes footage from what I understand.
Yeah, and it was funny because Jimmy Page said too that like, you know, it would have been easy if we were the same band every night, but they couldn't take like, you know, footage from like, you know, Stairway to Heaven on night one in Madison Square Garden, then night two it would be a completely different feel, different tempo, which I thought was continuity. Cool. Yeah. So mix it up, right?
Well, they were such a loose and improvisational band live anyway, so I don't see how that could have had any sort of continuity for sure.
I didn't know that until I watched this. This was like, I mean, I remember seeing bits and pieces of it as a kid, and that was mostly the concert part. And with this project, when we all decided to do, watch this movie, I kind of skipped through and just went straight to the concert stuff. And a couple of days ago, I think it was one of the first times that I saw like all of the movie. I remember seeing bits and pieces like John Bonham and his race car or whatever, his hot rod.
Yep.
I'd seen that before, and I think I'd seen some stuff like, I've definitely seen Robert Plant wearing his fur coat.
Yeah.
And the sword stuff, but like a bunch of other stuff, I was like, holy fuck. Like the beginning part I'd never seen before.
Yeah, the gangster scene.
Gangsters, yeah.
With the werewolf and the Nazi with no face, and what was the other one in there? That was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It made no sense. And like it was super interesting because this concert sort of like shows a different side of Led Zeppelin. It's like you said, they're very like, they definitely don't sound like what you hear on their albums, right? They're loose and they improvise, and it's really interesting to see it raw. And it's almost like the weird movie stuff was showing more of their artistic kind of side. And like, maybe it's up to you to sort of piece it together and take away what you want from that weird sort of movie that's spliced in between the concert.
Exactly. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Know.
Yeah, being at one of those concerts is like when somebody says like, where would you go? Like, what would you want to see? And it was like, I would want to be at Madison Square Garden in one of those shows, at the peak of their of everything, right? It would have been unbelievable, like to be able to witness that. But this is one of those albums for me too. It kind of feels like almost like, Star Wars geeks will understand this, but like, which version do I have?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like I've got this on vinyl, I've got this on CD, and I've got this on cassette tape.
Yep.
And every single version is different, and I don't even know, like on No Quarter, for instance, like I don't even know if I have the full version of No Quarter or what, because I know it's been chopped. So I know there's a couple different versions that I have that the whole thing is not on there. But then there's like other songs that are taken off on different cuts and different versions, and I'm like, I don't even know what I got, man. I don't know if I got the George Lucas extended cut or
which release?
I just want the original. I want the original one.
Yeah.
That's what I want, right?
Well, I've got the original vinyl, and I have the original release of the cassette. And then those are the only two copies that I have. Well, no, I have the one of the re-releases when they did the CD with the tiny sort of vinyl sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I grabbed that too, but that was probably, I don't know, what did they come out with? Because they came out with the original, and then there was two different re-releases. I think one was 2009 and one was 2018 or something. And those versions had a very different song order and just different songs. Like one of them had The Ocean where the original one didn't,
It's all over the place, and I can't find out. Like, I'm assuming the one that I have on vinyl is going to be the original one because I didn't buy like a reissue or anything.
Right.
So it's got to be it. But it's just funny because I just think of when you're watching those Star Wars and you're like, there's a CG something inserted into the
awful
this scene. You're like, get it out of here.
Why is Han Solo stepping on Jabba the Hutt's tail?
Yeah.
Right.
Why would you put that in your movie? In the remake?
Are you showing your kids 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3? Or are you going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
All I'm ever gonna do is 4, 5, 6 and Rogue. That's it. The rest of them can suck it.
They gotta find out on their own.
Yep, it's gonna be the original, and it's gonna be the original versions of 4, 5, and 6. I'm not showing them the remakes with all the CG shit.
Beta.
Fuck that.
At George Lucas's house.
No. But I've got the copies when they re-released them back in what was it, 2004 or something. They came as a double disc,
like 2001,
maybe 2001. I don't know, but when they came out, they had the 2 DVD pack.
Yeah.
And the second DVD was the original uncut, unedited, still grainy, still awesome. So I've got those. So they'll be watching those. The other ones can suck it.
They ain't got no choice.
Nothing. This is what they get.
They're gonna find out later in life. They're gonna be like, "Oh, Dad, like I love 1, 2, and 3. How come you didn't bring it into our lives sooner? Like I didn't even know it was released, but you never told us."
They're gonna thank me.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Song Remains the Same. But yeah, I just think of that with just so many different versions of this recording, and it feels like Jimmy Page is probably behind like every single one of those.
Well, of course he was. He is Led Zeppelin from the very start of the band. It is him till now. It is him. You know, when he did the majority of the arrangements, he produced the majority of the albums. He he had his hand in every step of the way. He's the only one that has. So, it's his baby.
I thought John Paul Jones wrote a lot of the songs too.
There was writers credits for some, like No Quarter and
he just did that shitty organ
he did
part.
the organ. Who does that anyway? No, but the
The
bulk
John
of
Paul
it,
Jones songs are the best, man. They're
So
the
good.
best out of all Zeppelin songs, like Trampled Underfoot, like like you gotta love that. It's just so good. Like I love the John Paul Jones songs. Like the No Quarter is so good. Yeah, I dig them.
But I get what you're saying. Like Jimmy Page is like the fucking boss.
he's the captain. He steered the ship, man. So
yeah. But I mean, what a talented group.
unreal.
I mean, yeah, I always remember like the first time I heard I don't remember the first time I heard Led Zeppelin, but when I was a kid and my parents would play it, I was so blown away by Jimmy Page's voice. That's like one of my first memories of like
Robert Plant.
really. Oh, sorry, Robert Plant. Excuse me. That's IPA, man. I'm not used to it.
Right to the skull.
Right to the mind. Yeah. Robert Plant, Jesus Christ. Like, and it's really nice watching this because he still had his voice, right? Which I don't know if he really does anymore. I haven't seen any of.
Well, as he aged, I mean, his range got lower. He still has all the skill, but his range is lower. What was the last live reunion show that they did? What year was that?
2011?
2011, something like that. At the O2. And when you listen to this and you listen to that and you watch it, everyone had to tune down easily a whole step because he couldn't hit those notes.
So Plant could hit.
So he wasn't stressing, but I mean, it still was brilliant.
Yeah, and I think
Sure,
like Robert
absolutely.
Plant's evolved too. I find
Yeah.
like there's some of his later stuff that it's a lot softer and a lot, like you said, down quite a bit than what it was before. But there's some stuff that like hits pretty hard later on in his catalog too, right? Like depending on who he's with, but like there's some of that stuff like the Mighty Rearrangers stuff. It's decent, man. Like it's pretty good. So, but yeah, it's just
Sailing on a ship of fools.
Yeah, like, he's like almost crooning now, right?
Yeah,
Kind of.
Oh, the Honey Drippers, though.
Yeah.
Honey
I mean,
Drippers,
that album is summertime for me anyway. I think because my parents would play it every time we drove like to our like whatever vacation. We'd have Honey Drippers playing.
That's awesome. Yeah.
This reminds me of summer kicking back. Yeah.
Do you still listen to that album?
You know, I haven't listened to that album in probably 30 years.
Oh, tomorrow, dude. Tomorrow, throw it on.
I should.
Yeah. Got to do that for sure.
And going back, Paranoid was 1970. So it did
1970.
The cover art did predate that, but yeah, it's very psychedelic for that time. Very similar to The Wizard on the Hill.
Yeah,
so,
it just reminded me of that.
yeah,
cover.
definitely.
You know what? I mean, watching songs remain the same. I keep like picturing John Bonham in my head. He just looks like a regular dude with his mustache, just sweating. Yep. They look like it's you sort of take them down from rock god status, and you see them in their like Paige is wearing this like really goofy outfit, and they're kind of dancing around it. It gives it like this sort of human touch. Right. That's what I really like about it, and the fact that it's like there's a lot of like. You know, it doesn't sound like the songs that you've heard on the recordings, and there's a lot of like interesting sort of variations happening within those songs. And like for me, it was really interesting, and it brought it down to like a relatable level to me. I don't know if you guys found the same thing.
Definitely, and it's cool that it wasn't perfect, and you look at how many like. Prior to that, there was not a lot of released footage of Zeppelin live. It's next to impossible to track down. So, I mean, they were very, very picky at what they released, but yeah, it is nice to see them putting it out as this is us and this is what we're doing, and you know, it's raw and it's imperfect and it's just cool. But there are parts where they're so solid. When you look at the drum solo from Moby Dick, ridiculous, ridiculous, and it's the length of it. I mean, it's like 12 minutes 50 seconds almost.
Is it? Yeah.
which is unreal. Or No Quarter, or yeah, it was No Quarter where Page did his whole violin bow sort of guitar solo, and that was the first time I'd ever seen anyone like do that, and it was so inspirational
iconic.
and inspirational, iconic. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Or
even to the fact that the Tea Party, Jeff Martin would do it, right? Like how many decades later?
Exactly.
A couple decades later.
And messing with the theremin while you're playing other stuff. Who else does that? The only other place you hear a theremin is Star Trek.
I think the Beach Boys fucked around with the theremin.
Going back to what you said though, Dane. I lost it. Oh, going back to the movie portion of it though too, right? Like you think about like nobody's doing this anymore, right? Like you think about a band coming out with a feature-length movie of concert footage and like weird things of them around the farm and like stuff like that. Yeah. You think of them releasing that into the movie theater, and you'd be like, oh, like who can do this? Like even like you think of like U2 doing like a big, huge, gigantic band. You'd be like, what is this, right? Well, but like back in the day, you think about like Stones, Beatles, Pink Floyd, all these bands are making these kind of movies, right? Like these just tripped out movies of. And they're all like getting released in the movie theater. Everybody's going. The general population is going to watch these things, right? Like,
it was a different time too. They didn't have any other options. It's not like you could rent it.
Yeah,
you couldn't rent it. You couldn't get it on DVD. You couldn't. It's like any movie. It's released in the theater, and then if you didn't see it in the theater, you never get to see it again. Before beta and VHS, that's what it was.
Yeah, and the people weren't force-fed, let's say, bite-sized pieces of popular media back then. I think there was room, or maybe for lack of a better way of describing it, like this stuff was sort of uncharted territory. Like everyone is tuning in and dropping out and experimenting with shit. So you didn't have to have like something that would translate in 3 different languages in fucking 5 different countries and sell $1 trillion, right? It wasn't about that. It was, let's get 2 directors and probably do a pile of drugs and see what we come up with.
And they didn't have to make the money off of the movie because they were making trillions of dollars off of album sales.
Yeah, and that's why this to me is like more art than it was like a promotional, okay, we need to get a live fucking video out so people know who we are live. It wasn't about that. It was, or I don't know. As far as my take from it, my takeaway from it was like, this is, whatever conjures up in my brain is I think good enough. That's what they wanted. They wanted me to sort of come up with my own version, my own interpretation.
Yeah, no, it was good to go back to that movie. I haven't seen that in a while, and I kind of forgot. I've seen that gangster scene like probably 40 times.
Yeah, because it's right at the beginning.
That
was it.
That was the first time I ever seen it.
It's like the first 12 minutes of the thing has nothing to do with Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. And don't feel bad, Dane. I went through like a Led Zeppelin phase, and it was just like I had to consume everything that was out there, and that was one of the things. So it was like,
right,
and then eventually over the years, I'd see it like only the beginning. You only catch the beginning, and then you'd knock out, or you'd go somewhere, right? So, but it was good to go back to it. But and what's your is this your favorite Zeppelin album, Mike, or is this just the one that kind of got you into everything?
This is the one that launched me into everything. So this will forever be everything for me. And in every version, on cassette, when I first got it on cassette, that's all I listened to. and it was just this over and over and over and over, flip, 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 you know, everywhere. That's all I listened to for you know, as long as I can remember. I mean, for all of grade 10. So what would that be? 95, 94, something like that. It was Song Remains the Same, and it was Back in Black and Appetite for Destruction. Those are the only 3 albums I listened to for that whole year. And
those are 3 good selections.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's all I listened to.
You had some good taste back then,
Yeah,
man.
and I mean, that's all I listened to. And this, you know, Song Remains the Same was on heavy rotation for that time.
Yeah.
You know, and when I picked up a guitar at age 13, 12-ish, 13, it's you know, my world at that time. So
Did you want to be like Paige, or was this just like the catalyst for you to dive into all things fucking rock, prog rock?
Page
whatever.
was it for me. I mean, when I first started,
Yeah.
it was Page, just because it went back to the launching point of everything, and then Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then Van Halen was always a thing, just because it was always on Much Music or MTV, and you couldn't not see Hot for Teacher, or you couldn't not see Panama.
Right now, come on, get together.
But yeah, I mean, it
Gotta
was all
give
of that,
Hagar some
and
props.
then, you know, when you progress in that time, it becomes Alice in Chains and Nirvana and all that stuff. But I mean, this was the main launching point, and still to this day, I still have the same attachment and feelings towards the album as I did the first time I heard it. So
Nice.
yeah,
Well, that's an awesome selection then, man. That's a good backstory to it.
yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, I like that. Nice.
cool.